In Xenoblade Chronicles 2, we learn about the architect, the other half of Zanza, and how there were three Aegises: Pathos, Logos, and Ontos. In Xenoblade Chronicles 2, we meet Pyra and Mithra, which are Numa, and then Malos. These are the two Aegises, and towards the end game of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, we learn that there was a third Aegis. However, the third Aegis was sent to another dimension. After Klaus was split, the other Aegis also left with that version of Klaus, which became Zanza, which, after playing Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, we know that that third Aegis is Alvis. Looking at his necklace being the core crystal, being an Aegis core crystal. And then at the end of Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, we see the huge amount of power the Aegises have, particularly Alvis being able to reform Shulk's world, meaning he had the power that was above the half of Klaus, Zanza, proving how powerful Aegises are. But we also see similar showings of power by both Malos and Numa being able to control sirens, and a whole mass of them, which we saw bring down mass amount of destruction in Xenoblade Chronicles Torna, and then how Amalthus manipulated Mithra towards the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Saying all that to say, at the end of Xenoblade 2, Malos dies, which temporarily would mean that there would only be two Aegises, right? One whole Aegis would be destroyed. But not only that, the architect and Zanza both die at the same time that we see. However, a little bit after that, Pyra and Mithra split into two different bodies. After that period, the world of Xenoblade, the multiverse, or whatever you want to call it, there would be three Aegises again. Malos dying and then Pyra and Mithra splitting allowed for three Aegises to exist. So that would mean in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, there are a lot of references to number 3 we will cover in another video. However, there would be three Aegises present. There would be three Aegises that would be the only high power figure left that we know of. Now, we can see that there has to be other higher powers, like the people we saw in the beginning of the trailer from the Nintendo Direct, the Xenoblade Direct. However, as of right now, what we know based off of the two games, the main people in power that would have the main figures that would have power after the architect passed would be the Aegises. Particularly, we know at the end of Xenoblade 2, Klaus transfers the power and the control of the conduit to Numa, who sacrifices herself but splits into Pyra and Mithra. So, this would leave Pyra and Mithra to have power over the conduit, which would be the world of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now, in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, we know Shulk is given the power to reform the world by Alvis. However, Alvis is the one who actually reforms the world. Even though Alvis disappears at the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Alvis disappears at the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 1, he still has that power to reform the world. He exemplifies that. And so wherever Alvis is, he would still be the main power force over Xenoblade 1. We know Shulk doesn't have any sort of world power after the events of Xenoblade 1, because we get into Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, and Shulk is just, he has his new replica Monado, and that's it. That world wouldn't really have a overarching figure except Alvis, who vanished, but we're not sure what Alvis' whereabouts are at the end. However, we do see that there are rifts in the world of Xenoblade Chronicles 1 towards the end of Future Connected, with the Fog Beast and the Fog King and everything, right? Saying all that to say, the Aegises are clearly going to have an important role in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, as they both, well, particularly Pyra and Mithra, were, and Alvis, would want to be against this world of war. Kind of for different reasons, but Pyra and Mithra, they're against war, even though they were part of the Aegis War. They did not want to continue to have that be a cycle. They wanted to meet the Architect in order to try and help alleviate those issues. They thought Elysium would be the world where the all rest would be able to continue to persist without all the many issues of Titans and then the other issues that we saw in Xenoblade Chronicles Torna. But Elysium wasn't what we expected. But regardless, Pyra and Mithra would not support this war under any circumstance. They would not support a war where people are only given 10-year lifespans. They would not support it. Under the same token, Alvis would not support it, even though Alvis created a world in which, quote, humans could decide their own destinies. In this war, humans, the Homs, aren't doing what Shulk wanted. They aren't following the method in which Shulk wanted the world to exist. Shulk wanted a world where there would be no predestined, like people would be able to live their own lives. However, a world of war where people are only trained to fight, it's not them living their own lives. Meaning it would be against what Alvis created the world to be. So, I think in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, we're going to see is the Aegises, we're going to see them again. However, I think they could have been sealed away. We know that Aegises can be sealed away because Pyra was sealed after the events of Torna for 500 years until she was reawakened. Presumably, if Rex did not go to reawaken Pyra likely would have not reawakened naturally. Alvis, we don't know where Alvis is. As of right now, Alvis has the most powerful showing of the Aegises, being able to create, destroy, and recreate an entire world. That is the most powerful showing by an Aegis by far in the 3 games. Pyra and Mithra are more power Aegises, as in they can control weapons, but Alvis, he's more like, I want to say, creation and controls space and time to an extent. So, but regardless, if he's an Aegis, that would mean that he would have the same weaknesses, meaning Alvis likely could be sealed as well. So the big bad of this game would have to be above Aegis power level, which, being more powerful than Pyra and Mithra is, wow, you would have to be really strong, but being more powerful than Alvis, now that is kind of crazy. But what role the Aegises would play, I would think we would try to unseal the Aegises. We would have 3 Aegises to unseal, Pyra, Mithra, and Alvis. So I'm interested to see how that would go. And then, because the Aegises, both of them would not support this war. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. We got 2 more days. It's Thursday tomorrow, and then Friday, and then Xenoblade 3 comes out. I'm going to be having a lot of content in Xenoblade 3. Going to stay spoiler free until Friday. I'm going to have 2 videos drop. One spoiler kinda, one spoiler free, but I'm going to let you know if a video is going to be spoiled. There's not going to be any spoilers in the title. But regardless, I hope y'all like this. Let me know if you're hyped for Xenoblade 3 in the comment section down below. And I love y'all. See y'all in the next video.